Hiya, I'm Joey and we're the Public Eye. It's a little bit about us. I hope you enjoy it.
I met Joey on Xbox playing pro clubs. The story's been told hundreds of times, but there it is. There's a brief. And then Joey pretty much pulled us all together. It was like Nick Fury out of the Avengers. He was like, "I love you, I love you, I love you." And then we all kind of met at the first band practice at the old Debrec Studios, which has now been demolished. And yeah, just kind of kicked off from there.
What are our inspirations as a band? We've always been inspired by Arctic Monkeys since the start. We're now a bit inspired by Fontaines, and we've sort of merged them together, and that's our overall sound now.
I think inspirations-wise, we're moving towards not even looking at just the sounds of bands and genres, but more just being inspired by what's happening around us. Like with a lot of the tunes that we've written recently, it's been from us just sitting in here, well not obviously in the function room, but sitting downstairs in the White Horse or outside, or when we're going to college and stuff like that, and seeing the things that are happening and then trying to write about them, opposed to being like, I want to be like this band or I want to be like this band. Just being us and trying to keep as authentic as possible with it.
It took us a while to get the Public Eye as a name, the holy grail of a name that is the Public Eye. We went through about 3 or 4 names. I'm not going to go through which ones. If you know, you know. But yeah, we came up with that name and the meaning came after, and it all went from there, really.
You said all your boring stories, superficial morning glory. Saw you Friday evening, you said where we meeting tonight, and I said baby blue notes.
So I've been listening to a lot of big range of music at the minute. There's this band called the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, and they've got a song called I Found God in a Tomato, which is absolutely fantastic. I've been listening to a lad from down south called Kill Owen as well, who Joey put me onto, which is kind of like garage music. But bands wise, just a lot of like Fontaines' new album. Listen to a bit of Wet Leg as well, and yeah, all the classics, all the 90s classics, like indie songs, and a bit of German industrial metal in there as well, because why not?
A sick one last year. Me and Cav went to go watch a band called Courting at Bodega, which since we've seen them, they've like blown up loads, but they were quite small at the time. We got to watch them for about 7-8 quid, which was sick. And I remember it being one of the first gigs where I sort of, because I'd been playing for a little bit, I noticed like the sort of mannerisms between each other while they're on stage communicating and stuff, and like hearing him have to explain like he's going slightly out of tune because he just tuned his guitar that day, and then like relating stuff like that. I remember that being a sick gig. No one really moshed the whole way through because I don't think a lot of people knew them, but they decided right at the end of the set that they were going to play one of their tunes at 2 times speed, just for the last, because no one was moshing, everyone went mental, and it made the night like perfect. So that was a really good one. And then Yard Act at Why Not, after we'd finished our set at Why Not Festival, we just got to go around all day and have fun, I guess. And I was loving life in this tent watching Yard Act, and then this bloke had recognised me from earlier when we were playing, and we were taking a photo, but we were like right by the side of the mosh pit, and the mosh sort of happened, and I just took a huge elbow to the face while this picture's happening. So some bloke's got some mad photo of me like half knocked out, and there's blood all over my white Derby shirt. And then 10 minutes later we had an interview with BBC Introducing and Dean Jackson, and I just had to go like covered in blood. So that was a sick moment of last year, I think, watching live gigs and stuff.
Did a good few live performances. I wouldn't say it's the best one I've seen, but I always go back to being able to see a band called Bilk, who are massively on the rise now, for £4 in Sheffield. Probably have to pay double that now. Still not a lot of money. A lot of money to me, but the best live performance I've seen from a band, I got the pleasure to see Fontaines at Rock City. I saw the Night Cafe at Rock City. I think I've said in a different interview. the Night Cafe were the best band I've seen live. But now I would probably have to say Fontaines. You know, they were brilliant, but yeah, the set list was brilliant, the lighting was brilliant, the sound was brilliant, and just a good night overall. That brings back a lot of memories. But the Night Cafe were good as well, and I've seen a good few bands down at the venue like the Lathams, and yeah, just love going to live gigs, and they're my best ones.
In June 2022, I went to Nebworth to go and see Liam Gallagher, but Kasabian were supporting him, and they just completely outshined him. Like, just the energy from the band, and Serge as the new frontman, he's just got different levels to him. He was interacting with the crowd. At one point, he ran through the crowd, and the whole place was just bouncing from start to finish, and just the kind of vibes and the energy just coming from them was just mental, and that's kind of what I want to replicate live. Just the energy, the interacting with the crowd, and just the whole crowd was just buzzing, absolutely bouncing, and that's really what you want to see at a live gig. It's just the crowd just absolutely mental from start to finish.
What's Derby like? It's a great place. I mean, got the stadium there, do you know what I mean? Football club's on its way back up, and so's the music scene, so hopefully big things to come from Derby.
What's Derby like? I've always lived in Derby since birth. Well, no, that's a lie actually. I moved from quite far down south, I believe. But now, obviously, I've lived in Derby for 16 years. I lived in a place called Spondon for 12 years. Really nice place to grow up in. Not particularly posh, but nice. And now I live in Chellaston. I've lived there for about 4 years.
Favourite thing about Derby, probably have to say the football club, because the greatest football team in the world.
Live music scene at the minute is sad. It's not crumbling. After lockdown, I think people were a bit worried. Whereas, do you know what I mean? Nowhere sort of had the funding it needed and stuff like that. But at the minute, the live music scene is on the way up again. So, do you know what I mean? There's loads of bands that weren't there 2 or 3 years ago, and it seems way more populated with music. So yeah, it's pretty sad.
City of Derby, do bands support each other?
Yeah, they all support each other. We've got some good fellow bands of friends, haven't we? Shadows, they're good friends. Yeah, they're all sound.
This guy, let's get into the shot.
What bands do you like?
You're in, yeah.
What music do you like?
What music?
Yeah.
I'm an old 80s man, mate. Can't beat the 80s music, mate.
What bands?
What bands of the 80s?
Yeah.
OMD.
There you go, that's that question answered. Bands in Derby, Middlesbrough and OMD. My two favourite. You've got at the minute, you've got Shadows of Silhouette, they're doing bits, you've got Marseille doing bits. Hopefully we're doing bits, I hope so. But I don't think I can really say that. Someone else has got to come in and say you're doing bits. There you go. Don't know who that was, he said we're doing bits.
Well, from all the gigs we've played, we're on a bit of a hot streak at the moment of selling them all out, and they've all been good. So, you get a few regulars, then you get a few who you've never seen before, and we show them all the love. So, yeah, they all get the same love.
Our crowd is very committed to coming to our gigs. We've got a lot of the same people, close friends and family members, and then we've got the people that we've never seen before that come to our gigs, and they start singing our songs back to us, and it's great. Out of Line is by far my favourite song to play live, because at the start when everyone's like, oh, that's sick. I love it, mate. It's been...
Oh, I wish that you weren't here. Keep on whispering in my ears, because the music's heavy and the room starts spinning, the drinks go easy and the
outside Derby's best voted cafe, Milk and Honey. And Blue Note, just in shock. We should have been in there, but we weren't allowed in for filming. So, Blue Note holds massive significance in Derby. Being down on Sodlergate, one of the most popular streets in Derby, it's held host to New Order and the Smiths down the years in the 80s and many more in the 90s. And we joined that famous line to sell the place out. You know, brilliant night. I can't remember anything from it because it was just pure adrenaline, like Why Not was. And yeah, just a fantastic night. One of the best nights I've had with the band. Hopefully many more to come. Well, Blue Note was done in one practice session really, so it's kind of like fate. You know, Cavan came in with this bass riff. It was, you know, I'd put him on a bit of the Strokes' third album, and they moved towards a quite darker sound, heavier sound. And it came in with this bass riff, and we got it done within one session. And Blue Note just became the song, the title of the song. Sorry. And yeah, you know, after we'd done that. We said it in an interview with someone else. They couldn't not give us a gig, and then we did it, and you know we managed to sell it out, which was brilliant. And then a brilliant night. I think some people might have snuck in, which we shouldn't name names, but yeah, just a brilliant night overall. One of the best nights I've had with the band.
How the gig at Blue Note went, it's up there with Why Not, as I've said already. One of the best gigs I believe we've done to this date. Hopefully there's better ones. Not saying it wasn't good, but hopefully we're up there playing on more 3,000 plus, 4,000 plus stages, such as Why Not. Yeah, no, it was amazing. The adrenaline was up there, the crowd was loving it. People on shoulders, people screaming and shouting and singing along to the songs. It was amazing, yeah, I loved it. So the outbuilding, it's where we practice. It's at the White Horse. Our bassist used to work here, so it was quite close with the owner, and he basically asked permission for us to use a spare building in the garden of the White Horse, and he said yes. So we've been practicing in there for about a year, maybe. If previously to that, we used to practice in the old Direct Studios.
It's one of Derby's listed buildings, the outbuilding is, and it's been handed down to us, and now we get to make our tunes in it, and hopefully we'll make some decent ones and then put our stamp on it.
Before we had that room, we used to practice downstairs underneath that room, so it's like a staircase and then the room's there and then we were down here. It's like a little stage and we used to practice on that, so we used to have all our mates around. And it was like that for about 4 months, 5 months, something like that. And then we've been practicing in this room upstairs for about a year. So yeah, and apparently this room's haunted. So there's a ghost called Ma Baker that haunts this room. And believe it or not, this is a genuine true story, right? I was playing a drum kit, obviously because I'm a drummer, playing as a band, and the speaker, that was the PA system speaker, lifted up and dropped and fell. And it was weird, and that is a true story.
I looked at Zack, my dad was there as well, he witnessed the whole thing, and so we were already like shitting ourselves, and then 5 minutes later while we're all talking saying like this place it's a bit strange.
Where I stand when we practice, where my amp and stuff is, I had 2 glasses on the chair, and one of them just smashed.
We're crapping ourselves at this point. And, you know, what happens, we carry on with practice, we walk out, we find out that the room's haunted.
After that, it was like this weird aura around, and yeah, it scared the absolute living life out of me.
It's quite weird. But yeah, that is the outbuilding.
Are you proud? No, I don't want to answer these
What a goal.
ones. Are you proud to be from Derby?
Am I proud to be from Derby? I'm proud to be from Derby. Yeah, I'm proud.
Good.
My first gig in Derby was when I was about 13 or 14, up near Pike Hall where they do Why Not. and I supported an Elvis tribute act, and he was good, to be fair. Apparently he played guitar for like Miles Kane once, or it was either Miles Kane or Jake Bug. It was one of the two. But first band gig, it was mad. Like there was such a difference opposed to playing on your own. Do you know what I mean? And then when you got all your mates around you instead, you're all playing together. There's just something about it which is great.
And the first gig that we played was a place called Ryan's Bar, which we sadly not able to get back into for unknown reasons. Yeah, that was a good gig. It was just all our mates and our family that just came, and it was a good night.
Why aren't you allowed in Ryan's Bar?
Because
we just take all the experiences and all the situations that we see in Derby, and probably a few different cities as well that we're usually in. So, dare I say it, Nottingham. And we just take all the things we see, all the people we see, and we put them into the songs, and that's what makes a personal connection with the audience.
Highlight of 2022, I would say it was One Up, of course, because it was our biggest gig that year. We played in front of about 3,500, and the crowd was amazing. And the crowd, believe it or not, was just as good at Blue Note. It was a much smaller venue, but the crowd was just great. Everyone was singing along. In 2023, we have started. We've got a new recording studio up in Liverpool. Big help from Autonomy. And we've got loads of other festivals and gigs planned for the rest of the year. That's going to be amazing. Can't wait.
And I won't stick around to see you breathe, 'cause it all just seems so pointless when you dream.
We've got a tune coming soon that's called Upper Parliament, and it's obviously named after Upper Parliament Street in Nottingham. And it's about how like Nottingham can create like certain people because of the environment they're in. So people that are misfortunate or they're suffering from special needs and they're not getting the right care that they should be given, and that's like a really deep topic. But you see it, and there's mentions of people that have almost become like local celebrities that should really be getting help from the like Nottingham City Council and stuff like that. And yeah, it just delves into loads of social issues and stuff. But so we've got that track coming, and then afterwards we've got one called This Place Is a Soap Opera, which was written, not in here, but written in this pub. We were all sat outside, and this bloke, bless him, he wasn't having a good day. He was just screaming at everyone, and he was obviously really upset about something. And then we were all sat in the pub, and he just opened the door, started screaming loads of nonsense. He threw this like Sprite bottle in, and someone thought like a grenade was about to go off or something. It's just a bit mad, and I think we referenced that in the lyric. But same sort of thing, how people living in an environment where they're not getting the right help can turn into something that they shouldn't be. And I think that's going to be the tone for a lot of the new music coming out soon.
Well, hopefully in 5 years' time we'll still be in this band and we'll just be doing bits like. Fingers crossed we'll have a FIFA song because FIFA's a great game. If it's on. What's this thing on? It's like Pro Evo Soccer, PES, yeah. If we're on PES, then I'm just gonna like leave the band and then go and cry.
Obviously, you can't be 100% sure, but I would love to be playing these big venues and festivals, the biggest ones such as Glastonbury, and I just want to get as far as possible. Like, yeah.
Hopefully, just doing the same thing, throwing shit at the wall till it sticks. Do you know what I mean? With songs wise, we might have changed up our sound a few times, but hopefully we find something that's just perfect and it works. That's as long as I'm still playing, I'll be happy. No matter at what level, I'll be sound.
Making a career out of music. Anything else is a bonus.